growing up in a working-class family in Singapore, I felt this immense pressure to be this model child in order to break free. I thought embodying excellence was the only way to move up the ladder, so I pushed myself to always be better. But now in my late 20s, I find myself paralyzed by fear despite doing everything right. Well, we hear all the time that perfectionism is simply fear dressed as ambition. It's funny how I used to dismiss it, but now it couldn't be more true. This is the exact moment I realized. I've spent so much time waiting for that magical idea, the perfect moment. And in all that waiting, my life was just passing me by. I used to believe perfectionism meant being the best version of myself. A version where I had achieved my fullest potential, putting out show-stopping work that absolutely no one has seen before. To be great, I believed I had to push myself relentlessly towards excellence, no matter the cost, even as a beginner. But the problem is, I never once stopped to ask if that perfection was even possible. I always made sure I gave my best with every pursuit in every video. But if I still feel like I'm not enough, then what exactly am I chasing? Ironically, I scrapped the entire first version of this very video you're watching now. I had everything planned, the title, the thumbnail, and even the opening sequence. But when it was time to bring it to life, I avoided finishing it. I always try to be 1% better each time. Although that's great for growth, but that can also create immense pressure for the next video to perform. So when the results fluctuate, I started thinking, maybe I'm just not good enough. YouTube being a competitive space, I had this pressure to be disruptive and immediately incredible. I held off the script for so long that eventually I just didn't resonate with it anymore. You see, perfectionism has kept me safe, but it has also kept me trapped. For so long, I have prided my work ethics over planning, over strategizing, and staying busy as hallmarks of chasing greatness. Until reaching a certain point where I was constantly ruminating in inaction because the idea was just not perfect enough. The same work ethics were actually distractions from the very goal I was chasing. Right after I decided to can the previous script, I picked up a new hobby as a way to distract myself. For the first time, I'm making something I'm not planning to perfect. And that effortlessly put me out of my comfort zone. With no expectations to how my oil paintings would turn out, I felt fearless in my attempts. Stepping out of my comfort zone wasn't as bad as I imagined. Actually, this is only my second time playing with oil, so I literally don't know what I'm doing, but it's okay. I'm just gonna have fun with it. The fear and anxiety had always been worse in my own head, especially when I pressured myself to perform. Letting go was liberating. And that's when it hit me. Perfectionism is not about being flawless. It's about fear. Fear of being seen as less, of failing, of not living up to my own unreasonable standards. What was truly unexpected was the revelations that came to me while I was painting. I was just so focused on experimenting and experiencing this medium for the second time in my life that I just didn't have any fear because there was no standard I was measuring myself up against. And I think this could apply to anything that I'm trying in my life, including writing YouTube scripts, because the truth is, perfection just simply doesn't exist. And believing in it was honestly disrupting my life. There's a difference between chasing excellence versus that single perfect outcome. Life flows through mistakes, through the messy and unexpected.
Besides, I feel like I can't really connect with you guys so much if I were to present myself as so perfect all the time. Anyways, I'm going to show you guys my painting, but I'm only going to show you at a very special place. But first, let me go get some stuff made from pure coincidences.
Thinking about it now, the legends we know today became legends not by chasing perfection. Most of the greatest inventions we have today came from happy accidents. If I had known everything from the start, I would have likely avoided all uncertainties, like starting my jagua body art business or taking risks.
Ironically, that would mean that I will never become the person that I am today. Chasing perfection, even though it's an illusion, taught me something deeper about my fears. True fulfillment comes in embracing imperfection. It's what makes us human and allows us to fully experience life. For so long, I held on to this idealism of perfection because, I gotta admit, it somehow serves me, since it confirms this limiting belief that has governed my entire life. The belief that I'm just not good enough, that I'm unworthy to be seen unless I've made my mark on the world.
In a strange way, this belief kept me safe. It let me believe I wasn't living a lie. For the first time, I felt the wind at my back, free from the pressure to be perfect. The simple truth is, perfection made me a bystander in my own life, stuck on the sidelines, watching but never moving. We simply can't shame ourselves into a version we admire. Instead, we can choose to look inwards with honesty and compassion for the parts of us that are still growing. What's really stopping you? What are you waiting for? Starting before we're ready is the bravest thing we can do.